This video is a little different. Not only is the topic philosophical, but the author of the article we're discussing is also the producer of this video. In the academic world, seeking out novelties is often encouraged, though novelty itself is a tricky concept. It's too easily mistaken for the cult of innovation, for something flashy or unprecedented. But here, novelty means something else: the reactivation of a tradition under new lights. In an article recently published in the Revista de Estudios Kantianos, I explore a central issue in logic, namely whether logic should be treated as exceptional or not, through the lens of phenomenology, with a particular focus on its Kantian roots. The argument is not simply historical. It's an attempt to show that scientific reasoning, including logic, evolves within a phenomenological continuum, one that connects our formal practices to our situated experience of thought itself. So if you're part of the academic community, or simply interested in how Kant, anti-exceptionalism, and phenomenology intersect, this reflection might offer something different, a meditation not just on logic, but on what it means to live through an argument. So, here's what you'll learn. Not just about my work, but about the larger debate surrounding logic, its aura, and its alleged fall from grace. First, we revisit the drama of logic's identity crisis, once the untouchable crown jewel of thought, now tossed into the dusty toolbox of naturalized epistemology. This text navigates between old reverence, where logic floated above history, and new cynicism, where it's just another algorithmic echo, to suggest that logic's exceptionality might stem precisely from its historical depth, not from any metaphysical immunity. Second, we reframe logic through a phenomenological lens, not as a floating a priori ether, but as the crystallization of our very attempt to make thought walk upright. What was once called necessity might just be orientation under pressure. Third, we draw a line from Gentzen and Pravitz back to the muddy trail of cognition itself, where normalization isn't just a technical cleanup, but a metaphor for making thought accountable to itself. Arguments aren't static proofs. They are episodes in the story of mind learning how not to trip over itself. The argument becomes a product of scientific maturation, the movement from association blindness to meaning, not the eternal or mechanical repetition of some form or pattern. It's not about logic as divine syntax, nor as a dull reflex. It's about logic as the sediment of life, memory turned into form, tension into inference. And if that's not philosophy worth doing, I don't know what is.
This part isn't cheerful, nor is it proud, but it must be said, if you've made it this far, that's already rare. And though it doesn't justify anything in itself, it does increase the odds that you're actually interested in continuing, or at least morbidly curious. What follows is a brief display of the model I've been developing for sharing my work. Not just sharing ideas, but releasing thought that has been slowly fermented, aged, and only reluctantly published after surviving the gauntlet of peer review. Now, I don't mind giving my work away. Honestly, I'm not a sophist. Not in the old Athenian sense, anyway. No one's asking for drachma in exchange for dialectic. But let's be clear. The personal satisfaction of sharing this kind of content, essays that took months to mature, and even longer to be accepted by academic journals that reject everything with the gentleness of a guillotine, is a rather uneven model of compensation. Add to that the fact that YouTube monetization for content like this is about as likely as Plato founding a TikTok, and you'll see why I don't operate this as a factory. These aren't mass-produced thoughts. And so, No, they won't be left out in the open like pamphlets in a dentist's waiting room. To those of you asking for more, and you know who you are, yes, there should be some form of exchange involved. But here's the twist, and I say this with all due irony. For me, being in contact with serious debate, with people who don't flinch at concepts like epistemic accountability or inferential normativity, is a form of payment. Perhaps the only kind worth anything. As a professional philosopher might have said, had he been less polite and more broke. Understanding something difficult is already its own reward. And, as you probably know, the important things aren't bought. They're earned argument by argument. So if you want more, and if you want it properly, you'll find full-length videos on my Gumroad page where I dive deep into these ideas and offer not just the theories, but a path for engaging them. No algorithms, no hacks, just thought, laid bare, and a few occasional jokes to keep it human.